there, second grade. How's everybody doing today? And welcome back to another remote learning math lesson with Mr. Enzi. Let's get started as we look at even and odd numbers. Let me shrink myself into the corner as we get started with grade 2, lesson 2.6, even and odd practice. And for this video lesson, you are going to need your whiteboard and your dry erase marker because we're going to do a little practice together. So you might want to hit the pause button while you go and get your whiteboard and marker. Now, after this video, you're going to need some other stuff. Your Seesaw activity will involve Math Journal page 29. You can do it in your Math Journal or you can do it right in Seesaw. But you're going to need about 20 pennies or 20 counters for this activity. So after the video, you might have to go on a little scavenger hunt. Search for some pennies in your house. All right, so hopefully you have your whiteboard and marker all ready to go. Get that cap off and be ready to write because our warm-up today is going to ask us to count by twos. And we're going to start with the 0. So we're going to go 0, 2, 4, and you're going to go as far as you can until I say stop. On your marks. Some of you are starting. On your marks. Get set. Go. Count by twos on your whiteboard. How high can you go? Time's almost up. Keep going. And stop. Tap those markers. How high did you count to? Let's take a look. Check your work to see if you were correct. Count by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Did you get past 20? Let me keep going. 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Let me keep going. 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. Let me keep going. 42, 44, 46, 48, 50. If you got up to 50 in that short amount of time, that was amazing. Most of our second graders are able to get up to around 20 or 30. But look at all these numbers that I've written. They all have some things in common. These numbers all up and down here all end in a 2. And these numbers here all end in a 4. And these numbers all end in a 6. And these numbers all end with an 8. And these numbers all end in 0. These numbers all have a special name. I know Kira knows because I work with her on this all the time. These are the even numbers. And the even numbers are numbers that end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. That means there's some numbers that end in something different. We call those numbers the odd numbers. And odd numbers are numbers that end in 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. Let me show you something that I like to use to help me remember my even and odd numbers. This is an ice cream cone. There's 2 of them. One of my ice cream cones has all the even numbers. The other one has all the odd numbers. So whatever number is the last number, I can look at that to tell whether it is even or odd. Even, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Odd, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. No matter what my number is. So let's write this number down on our whiteboard. The number is 16. Oh, you have some nice handwriting. Now the last number is the 6. Well, if I look for a 6 on my ice cream cone, here it is. It's on the even cone. So 16 is an even number. Let's write down another one. What if I had the number 19? My last number is a 9. Would 19 be even or odd? Well, I can look at my ice cream cone again. The 9 is found on the odd cone. So 19 is odd. And it doesn't matter how high my number goes. Let me try another one. Oh, let's go something really big, like 54. Is that even or odd? Well, my last number is a 4. On my ice cream cones, I found the 4. The 4 is an even number. Let's try one more. See if you can do this one all by yourself. My number is 87. Whew. Is that number even or odd? The last number is a 7, and I found the 7 right there on my odd ice cream cone. So 87 is an odd number. Now there's another way to determine whether or not our numbers are even or odd. I have some pennies here. First thing I want to do is count up my pennies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I can tell whether a number's even or odd by breaking them up into 2s. I can put them in 2s. Let's see. There goes 2. Oh, up. There's another 2. And there's another 2. All of my pennies went into 2s. We call that pairs. I have no pennies left all by themselves. So I know 6 pennies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is an even number. Let's try another. Here's some more pennies. I'm going to try to put them in 2s. Oh, there's a 2. Oh, let's see. Here's another 2. And, oh, here's another 2. But I have a penny all by itself. These pennies are odd. Let's count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is an odd number. So I can group my pennies into partners, into 2s, to see whether or not my number is even or odd. Today, you are going to have an activity in your journal, and it is also on Seesaw. I want to explain to you how to play it. For this activity, you will need at least 20 pennies. Or you can use counters if you have 20 counters. If you don't have that many pennies or counters, you could probably get away with, maybe 12 to 15 if you have to. But here's how this works. You're going to work with a partner. And for problems 1 to 3, you're going to do the following. You're going to write the number of pennies you grabbed and the number of pennies your partner grabbed. Write the number of pennies you have in all. Circle even or odd to show whether each number is even or odd. So let me show you what I mean. Mr. Enzi puts all of my pennies down in front of me, and it's my turn to grab some pennies. So I reach, and I pick up some pennies, and I count them, and I write it down. I picked up 7 pennies. Now I have to think, is 7 even or odd? Well, I'm going to take those pennies and I'm going to try and make partners. Remember, we just did 7 pennies. We found out that 7 pennies was odd because there was 1 left over. So I'm going to go ahead and write, or I'm going to circle that 7 is odd. Now my partner is also grabbing some pennies, the pennies that are left over. And they're reaching in and they're grabbing those pennies and they pulled out 6 pennies. So now we have to decide, is 6 even or odd? And I can group those pennies into 2s. Well, we learned earlier that a number that ends in 6 is even. Now we have to find the total. We have to put all of our pennies together. When we put all of our pennies together, we're going to have to count and see how many pennies we have. Well, when me and my partner combined our pennies, we had 13 pennies. 7 plus 6 more is 13. And now we have to figure out, is it even or odd? And we might have to make partners. Well, 13 ends in a 3. And when I try and make partners, I end up with 1 penny all by himself. So 13 is odd. You're going to do that 3 times for problem 1, for problem 2, and for problem 3. As you grab some pennies, count them up and tell whether they're even or odd. All right, 2nd grade, go ahead and get started. Find some pennies or counters, and then complete that seesaw activity about even and odd numbers. We'll see you soon.